Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Haya is a very, very important aspect of Islam. And as the saying goes, إِذَا لَمْ تَسْتَحِي فَاصْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. When you do not have haya, then do whatever you like. Haya is the defining factor that prevents a person from committing sins. So once a person loses haya, then he loses everything. Once a person loses modesty, then he loses everything, and he doesn't feel ashamed of committing any type of sin. He doesn't feel ashamed of killing somebody. He doesn't feel ashamed of looking at somebody's wife with lustful eyes. He doesn't feel ashamed about committing sins. He doesn't feel ashamed about stealing from his own blood brother. He doesn't feel ashamed of cheating any person. So this is basically the consequence of losing haya. So haya is the foundation of so many things, of so many sins being prevented that we can not even imagine. So we have to try to build this haya within ourselves. As the Prophet ﷺ said, "Innal haya'a min al-iman." Haya is part of iman. So keeping this point in mind, we have to try to build as much haya and modesty within ourselves as possible. And modesty comes by staying away from ma'asi, staying away from committing sins, having a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And while we are alone, thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and keeping Him in mind and having His awe within ourselves, having His fear within us, this is what brings about haya. There are 7 people that have been mentioned in a hadith which is very famous, that a person who will remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in solitude, alone, and he cries while remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person, he will get the arsh, he will get a place underneath the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment, on the day when there will be no other shade other than the shade of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why will he get this honor? Because he was modest to a degree that even when no one is watching him, he has the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his heart. And that is the complete haya and the complete modesty that prevents a person from committing sins while in solitude, while nobody else is watching. That is the thing that prevents a person from committing sins. And if a person loses this haya, then even in front of other people, he can commit sins and he doesn't care. So these are the 2 extremes. We are supposed to be going to that extreme which will prevent us from committing sins, and thereby it will enter us into paradise. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me and you the tawfiq to understand what has been said.